Welcome to Hangar 207 in the garage, working on
Stop it.
this car. What I'm doing is making a car.
Stop. Oh, God. Cut a bunch out of this thing.
All right. Welcome to Hangar 207 in the garage, working on the 1940. Right now, we are trying to button up the rest of the mock-up. Now, I had comments asking what mock-up was, so I figured I'd explain it real quick. Mock-up is where you put the car together, but basically temporary. You know, like right now, I don't have a lot of the engine compartments and stuff, engine parts on it, so on and so forth, but I got where the engine is going to be, where the body is going to be. The body mounts are not fully welded. They're just tacked. They're just temporarily done. Stuff like that. And so you're building a car, but not permanent. And then when you get done building it, you'll tear it all apart, paint, clean, replace parts, whatever you're doing. So that's basically what mock-up means. Now what I'm doing on the mock-up, so I don't get going on the car, think I'm done, start ripping it all apart, and realize I forgot to do something. So we made a list. Over here is the list of the things of mock-up that we need to have done. And my F is missing. And my M. There. Mock-up list. You know, all these things here is all the things I have to make sure are done before I rip it apart and start doing the body. And then I'll have another list when I get these all checked off. I'll have another list of like the engine, getting the engine basically freshened up. I'm not going to rebuild the engine. I'm going to replace the front and rear seal. I'm going to change the oil pump. I'm going to change the O-ring that's around the pickup tube, which is a problem with these. And, you know, stuff like that. I'm not totally rebuilding it. I'm just going to do what we call a refresh because it's only got like a little over 100,000 miles, which is nothing compared to the engines these days. 100,000 miles is nothing. You know, the front clip, radiator support, steering shaft, and steering column. Exhaust manifolds, I got to make sure they fit around the steering shaft, whatever. Brake master cylinder and booster. I got to make sure. Gas tank, which I have to have cross members in to be able to put the gas tank. And then body mounts, finishing the body mounts. Most of the body mounts are done, but they're temporary. They're not permanent. So right now, it's time to get ready to cut these off. We're back. I cut the frames off. Then I put the fender on there just to see what I have to deal with as far as radiator support, which is right there. But that's a totally different video. Right now I'm going to put the exhaust manifold on because I'm working on the steering column and the steering shaft to see what we can do about making that work. And let's see what we can do here. Run this through here. Well, as you can see, that's not going to work. So I got the rod through here. Set the exhaust manifold. So I'm not going to be able to run underneath. So that idea sucks. So if I get some universal joints, I'll put that there, put a bearing here, and I can go back there, put a bearing like here. I'll have to show you a little closer what that means. That will work. So you bring the shaft through here, They'll have a idler bearing here, another universal joint going up to here with a universal joint. That'll work. But I see another problem. Let's check that problem out. Here's the down pipe. Put that on there, that on there. Yep, I was right. See there? Oh boy. This is not going to work at all. It's hitting the frame. The problem is the pipe's hitting the frame right here. Right here. Pipe's hitting the frame right here. What I could do is I could notch this out like this and then put some metal in there to beef it up. But I really hate that idea. I doubt that's going to be the problem. Well, time for me to go get on Amazon and do something I don't want to do, which is headers. I don't want to put headers on here. My idea was I was going to run a stock engine. If I didn't, that way I wouldn't have any trouble. Headers could be a pain in the butt. So, looks like I might have a choice in the matter. Headers might be the way to go. Well, as soon as I have that answer, I'll let you know. But I gotta get that steering column out. Let's get the steering column out. There's one bolt. Oh, bolt broke. Joy. Well, there's that. Okay. There's a U-bolt that broke. I'm either going to weld another nut to the end of it or see if I can replace it. We'll see what the future holds for that. This pretty hot. Here's the original shifter. But this is really nothing but a tube. It's an inch and 3/8 inside diameter. The shaft is 3/4. This is a 3/4 inch shaft, what they call a double D. It's flat on each side. And the universal joints has got the same shape that they go in there and tighten down. This is what I mean by universal joint. See how it swivels. I'll show more about that a little later. Right now, we got to get this steering column, cut the length. And there's a bushing in here because this bushing where the steering wheel was is all walled out. If I can fix this and make this work, I want to use the original steering column. Just because, I don't know, I just think it's cool. But the end here, I marked it. That's where it came through the firewall. I've got to clean this off. I got to cut it, but I got to cut it straight. Because what I got, I ordered some bearings like this. It's got a little bit of a ridge on it. It'll fit right in the end like this. I'll probably put a tack or a welder there. And then, not this steering column, but the original steering column came out of the car. We'll go right over that. And I got collars that will lock it in place. So that should fix the steering column, so the steering column will work. You don't have to put in the uniforms, the shafts, and then they'll go around the headers when they come in, which will probably be tomorrow. So, I gotta get this cut to length, and then I gotta get this bushing out of here, which that could take some time. But let's get this cut. Wow, check that out. I'll do a little tack weld so it stays in place. Don't really have to because I got those keepers, but I probably will tack it. I mean, when you're dealing with steering, you know, you have a tendency to not skip. There's that in. Okay, so I got bushings out, bearing shaft. So let's take this bearing. Bearing it there like that. This is, like I said, this is where the old bearing was here, right there. I'm leaving it on there right now to keep it from sliding right through, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that in. I gotta go get the steering wheel from the other garage and put it on there and see if I can figure out what we'll do about the height. So the shaft that can flat out. Here's this bearing. That goes under like that. Now I got the universal joint. This is going to go up here. Now what I'm going to do, this has got the D shaft here, and the inside of that's the same. So it goes on there and it locks down. Okay, it goes on there like that and it locks down. I hope I'm into the camera. And what we'll do is I'm taking this rod here to the machine shop. He's going to mill flat ends on this shaft to match this here. So I really don't have to put this locking collar on because this is basically will be a locking collar that'll go on that. So I've got to cut this shaft off the length and then he can mill it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off. But I think I want to cut it a little long. That way I can shorten it as time goes on. But we'll have it mill a little further. That's where we'll cut it off at. Now if I leave it like that, oops, that's plenty long for this to go on there. Plenty long. But with this shaft up here, I don't want a big gap on this end here where the steering column is going to be. I don't want a big gap. But basically that's it. These bearings, they're wheel bearings. 3/4 inch hole in the middle. So for the shaft is a 1.5 inch pipe, which the inside diameter is 1 3/8, which is what this is. And it fits on there just basically perfect. Like I said, I'm probably going to put a wheel weld right here on both ends to kind of hold them in place, the bearings. But that's a steering column. Now what I was going to do is take a shaft like this and put it here, and then like cut this off, weld it to the end of that. For some reason, having this part here welded to a piece like that, that just to me doesn't seem to be safe. Now, there's a bunch of ways I can make it safe. Put a, tube over it and weld at each ends and have it in the middle. I just think taking this end down and having a deep spot milled onto it would be plenty. I also thought about drilling this out to where it was 3/4, putting it up on there, put a weld around it. Then I can't take it apart if that's the case, if something happens later. I decided I'm just going to have him mill at this. I have no idea what it'll cost me or whatever, but it will work for me. So there's that. There's the steering column. That's an easy way to make a steering column. Pretty simple, huh? Well, when I get the headers, we'll get them on and we'll get finished with the rest of the steering. And then all the way up to the point, but I can't do much until I get that down to the machine shop. So that's for that right now. We'll be back in a little bit as soon as the headers come in. All right, I'm back. It's the next day. And yes, my headers showed up. I'll show you those in a minute. I put the steering wheel on. I took the shifter out of the shifter column. I took this apart so I can figure out how to adapt this part. Steering wheel's on there. The shaft in there. I got to do U-bolt, so I was able to bolt this all back on. So the steering there is working. Now, up front here, I haven't gone to the machine shop yet to get this cut to where it looks like the D shaft here. What we're doing with the shaft and how we're running it, I'll show you in a minute, but right now, let's open up the headers. All right, rip the box open. There's the stainless steel headers. There's the collectors, gaskets. There's no gaskets for this part. I don't know why. I'll figure that out a little later. But now, we gotta get that old junk off. I'm just gonna use these bolts for now. Perfect. Vroom, vroom. That looks kind of sweet. All right, now what we're doing here, this is just a piece of conduit. Use it for more or less figuring out part reasons. See right here, I gotta hurry up with this video. This video is getting too long. Take the universal joint, I put it, it's got splines on it, put it on the gearbox right there. See, there's a universal joint on there, right on the gearbox. All right, this will go here, like that. And this bearing here, I'll have to make a place. This mocking shaft's too long. It's hitting here. But this will go here. I'll have to make a bracket up here to hold this, like that, this hind joint. And then another universal joint will go here and head that direction, like that. And then another one will be on here, facing that direction. But I think it'd probably be more like out here. Kind of like this. This shaft's too long, but that's the idea. All right, well, I gotta finish this video, get this video down to the end. I got the steering column done, the steering wheel on there. Then I went to the machine shop and had the ends cut on there. You can see how it's like that. I got the shaft hooked up here, universal joint there, the shaft coming up, hype joint here. This is what I put in. It's just tacked right now. I'm going to weld it in solid when I weld everything else up. This is welded to here. Here's the lock nut that's going to be on there. Hive joint, now the universal joint. This last joint, which goes on here. Oops. We'll get like that. Slide that on there. I take the Allen wrench here. And then tighten that right down. And I'll do a little bit more better job of snugging everything up when I on final assembly. Right now, I'll put a little notch in there so it will, it'll stay good and tight. Yeah, tighten them both up. All these up. The lock nut locks them down. There's the steering shaft. So that's how it works. Now, here, I got a sleeve that will go on this and it'll weld to the body here and clamp to the pipe here. So this will stay solid. Right now it's a little loose, but it'll stay tight. And I'll do that when I weld up all these holes here. So that's that. All right, now we'll come over to the list. Look at the list. I already got the exhaust manifold marked off because put the headers on and they fit fine. So exhaust manifold's done. Steering shaft is done. Okay, and steering column is done. So what I'm going to do next, either I'm going to do the gas tank, the front clip, or maybe even the brake master cylinder. I'm not sure. Or even start a, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do next. It's been kind of cold here, and I'm not too sure what. But I have a gas tank. I might even do the differential. I've got to narrow the differential. I might even do that. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But all these has to be done. When all those are done, then I can actually start taking the car apart, cleaning and painting, getting everything ready for reassemble. Because like I said in the past, I bought this on Father's Day last year, 2024. I want to be driving this down the road. Plates, insurance, totally legal on Father's Day, 2025. Drive it all summer, then I'll park it during the winter. I'll tear it all the way down again and start on body work, getting the body ready to be painted. We'll go over the body, the little details of the body on another video. But with that, I want to say thanks for watching. Hangar 207 in the garage, 1940. See you next time.